Morning, guys and gals. This is your host, Joe, Life with Yosef, and I'm going to make a story time. I'm going to update all you on Loki's gift. Today is the 7-year anniversary. I had the date, I could never remember. It's the 28th of August of 2024. And 7 years ago today is the day that Loki's gift attacked me. Now, the day prior, yesterday, 7 years ago, was the McGregor Mayfield fight, and I was in Colorado Springs with one of my, at the time, Hanai, and we'll let Paulie Walnuts here chime in on what happened.
I love that cocksucker like a brother, and he fucked me in the ass.
Okay, so we get to the house, and we had planned this, and my ex and I had said that he was just getting over the worst flu he ever had. Now, he never got sick. And he said it was devastating to him. Okay, but he's better. He seems to be over it. So the roommate comes down from upstairs, and he said he finds the fight for us. And he says he's not going to sit with us because he's got the worst flu he ever has had. So, okay. Well, we watch the fight. We feel fine. We go back to camp. We get up in the morning, the afternoon, early afternoon. We go out to eat. We go into town. Now, we're camping kind of east of civilization. Now, it's starting to expand out there. Colorado Springs is growing. But we're at a campground with well water. Now, I'm going to point this out, that the whole time I traveled in the White House, I didn't use a water filter. Now, I can't confirm or deny that I got something from the water out there, but, it's well water, and they had a sign in the laundry room that said, you really may want to consider or not consider washing your clothes here. And I had one of my shirts got eaten up by the water. So, I don't know if it was the water, but I never used a water filter. And then when I got KP and now KP2, I'm using a water filter. So was it exposure to the people in the house? Was it something in the water at the campground? I can't get an answer. So we're sitting at the Mexican place, and as we sit across from each other in the booth, and as our server, watching our server bring our food out, it's right now. I don't really collapse, but I look at my wife and say, all of a sudden I don't feel good. So I kind of lied down, sat up, ate a few bites. I insisted that, we eat, and, she ate, and I did my best, and we boxed mine, and she drove home. I couldn't even drive. Well, we got home, and I got in bed for 3 weeks. I lost 35 pounds. I could hardly eat. And my brother, Kurt, had something like this when we were kids. He was in bed for a month, and nobody knew what the hell was wrong with him, and then all of a sudden he felt better. It was the oddest thing. I asked my mom about this long afterwards, certainly after my brother had passed, and she said they never did know what happened to him. So I go to the urgent care after 3 weeks because my wife just says, if you don't go to the goddamn doctor, I'm gonna leave. I'm taking Chico and we're leaving. So it's like, okay, I've been kind of shining this on, but, when my wife said something, I better be paying attention. So we go to the urgent care, and they run some tests. I should have just gone to the emergency room because Kaiser, my HMO, doesn't cover the urgent care, but they'll cover an ER visit. Go figure. So, and then I went to Kaiser in Colorado, but they really didn't want to treat me because each of the Kaisers, Kaiser NorCal, Kaiser Southern California, Kaiser Oregon, Kaiser Colorado, Kaiser Hawaii, it's not one great big Kaiser. They're all little independent fiefdoms, and they don't really want to treat anybody not paying tribute to their fiefdom. So I go to the urgent care calls and says you need to go to the emergency room. I go, they run a shitload of tests. Okay, we think you have low salt. So they can give me some salt pills and send me home. And, we stay another, week or two, and I'm just not feeling myself. Finally, we had to leave camp. So we went to the KOA and stayed a week. It was really expensive. And 3 weeks, I go by, to eat and visit with my ex and and I eat a little bit, but he looks at me and I lost 35 pounds. Y'all who know me know I love food. Food is love, and I have struggled to keep the fork out of my face. So that's when I think he really believed, oh my God, dude, you're sick. Now, the second time I go to ER, they basically say, we don't know what's wrong with you and you need to go home and see your doctor. Well, that's what Marie and I decide. We were going to go to Texas and maybe sort of longer term there. My wife was going to look for a job. The counties down there were hiring for dispatchers willy-nilly, and she could have stepped right into that. So we're going to go back to California. It took almost at least 2.5 weeks because I couldn't drive every day. I was just too damn sick. So we drive, 3 hours, almost like now, I drive 3 hours. It's 1 or 2 o'clock. I stay for 2 or 3 days. And we got to Bakersfield at Orange Grove, and I wasn't feeling any better, and there was nobody to come and help us. It was me and Marie and Chico. So I wake up our last day in Bakersfield, and my wife asked, do you want to extend? And I said, I don't think this is going to do any good. We need to get to Flag City. So I suck it up, and it was a very, very difficult drive. I was so sick. Well, we get to Flag City, and it was when the Oroville Dam was about ready to rupture. So we weren't sure if they had room for us, but we get there, and I walk in, and I say, here's our situation. And they know who I am, and I'm a valued guest, so, oh, of course, Joe, we'll make, you stay as long as you need. I was so goddamn happy. I didn't drive for 4 months after this. I thought I would never drive again. I thought, my God, what has happened to you? Well, the long story short is I go through 3 doctors. The third doctor is in Stockton. It's Dr. Denota, and I still have her. And she believes me. I don't think everyone did. I got tested for cancer. I got tested for AIDS. I had the colonoscopy. I had the endoscopy. I had endless liver, urine, kidney, blood, Lyme, Hashimoto's. God, there's probably 40 things I can't think of. Every time my wife and I were digging around any of the doctor sites, even if it was just maybe, I'd suggest it, and we'd test. We tested for everything. Well, after about a year of this, total, my doctor just says, I don't know what else to test. I had said, maybe we need to go to Kaiser or to UC Davis, Stanford or to UC Davis. And she says, well, there's nothing they're going to test you for that I'm not willing to test you for. I just don't know what else to test you for. And she took my case to every head of Kaiser departments that she could find. Had to have a drink. And there was just no answer. So that's when my wife and I were deciding, okay, we didn't want to just live in the RV at Flag City. I'm too sick to travel. She wanted to live on the coast. That's what drove. Well, it was one of the drivers of the Coos Bay decision. Now, granted, my stepmom, Bev, lived up there, but that's not why. I think we saw her twice the whole time we were up there because of the COVID and everything was closed. We moved to Coos Bay, and I got tested again, and I don't think anybody up there believed me. The doctors up there were assholes. My psychiatrist was awesome. He's the one that diagnosed the Tourette's and the ADHD after maybe 15 minutes of talking to me. So he was awesome. But so as the fire and all that, we have to come back. And when I got back, and we eventually ended up having to put my wife and I started to live in the senior home. I got Dr. Denona again. We ran through all the tests again. Nobody knows. Nobody still knows. So we're kind of in limbo here, 7 years into this. Now, I haven't got to the symptoms yet, I don't think. The symptoms are simple: relentless, unyielding, devastating nausea. I don't vomit. I've never vomited with this. But the nausea is overwhelming. It's debilitating. And I take a prescription, I take ginger, and now the stuff in the blue bottle that I'm taking, the stuff in the blue bottle seems to be helping a little bit more, but the nausea it'll come on in an instant. I'll wake up, 20 minutes, I'm doing good, I'm going to have a good day, and nope, back in bed. This happened yesterday. I got up, I ate, I need to get this place cleaned up, and went to bed, and that was that. So went to bed about 1, and I slept till 6. So the nausea. The second thing is when I say fatigue, I don't mean, I'm tired, I had a late night. No, I don't mean that. I mean devastating. You can't get out of bed. Fatigue. You could barely get to the bathroom. If you watch enough of my content, especially the rides or the drives, you see me pull over and take a nap because the fatigue is just overwhelming, combined with the nausea. I pull over in the truck. Now that I got the trailer, I pull over in the trailer. This is one of the reasons that I wanted to get the batteries resolved so I could start the generator anytime and have AC and be able to lie in bed, which is a lot more of the trailer, which is more comfortable than putting the seat back in the truck. So fatigue, nausea. Now, the two secondary symptoms that I had earlier, I don't have now as much, are the dry heaves. Usually in the morning, first thing, like I'm having morning sickness. The dry heaves are just what a way to start the day. And I don't get it so much now, but there was a long time where I would get the sweat so bad that I would sweat through my clothes. Now, that's happened somewhat after some of the bigger episodes, but not nearly as often as it has in the past. So when you're asking for the symptoms, nausea, fatigue, but at a level that you got to understand is damn near crippling, and I'm trying to get a handicap placard because I have a hard time grocery shopping. I'm so sick. You saw me walk on some of these. I walked a couple of the paths, and God, I was exhausted. I extended a day in Chiloquin for that reason. So these are the symptoms. Just the nausea and the fatigue are just at a level that is just unyielding. So I think that about wraps it up. I am doing this functional medicine. I've been doing it since January with Dr. Mark out here in Turlock, and it's probably going to cost me almost $20,000 because I signed a contract of, it's $700 a month, and then the $700 or $800 a month in supplements and tests, and I felt better. About the first 2 weeks I was taking the mix, but I'm taking just an armload full of stuff, and it's just not helping. So that contract runs out at the end of December, and I'm not going to renew because I don't see a cost benefit to it. I'm getting more cost benefit out of the stuff in the blue bottle that I'm taking. So I think that's going to about sum it up now. I made one of these and I didn't like it, so I may not like this one either. But This is the story of Loki's gift. And this is your host, Joe, Life with Yosef. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you again for your support through all this nonsense. And not just, oh, I know, buddy, not just the grief about my wife's passing, but 7 years of this bullshit. It's old. It sucks. It's hurting my life. But I get up every day and I press on because, I owe it to my wife, I owe it to Chico, I owe it to Dude, and I owe it to myself. So that is the summation of Loki's gift. This is, as always, your host, Joe, Life with Yosef. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Enjoy your day. Peace be with you, and we will certainly see you for the next one.